Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your Arsenal transfer roundup where we delve into the biggest stories around the transfer market in the last 24 hours around Arsenal. Lots of things have happened, but it's been a quiet day and a very, very peaceful day. It doesn't mean that deals are not happening. Deals are really happening in terms of incomings and outgoings. Arsenal are working on Mikel Merino, the deal. And also we have initiated contact with Fabian Ruiz today to sign the player from PSG, as the two players are seen as possible replacements for Emile Smith Rowe, who again today in the last 24 hours has had significant improvements in his deal to Fulham as well. So it's a peaceful day, but lots of things are happening. And let's dive into what has happened today. So let's start off with the biggest story. Of course, Emile Smith Rowe is closer and closer to leaving Arsenal, as reported by Fabrizio Romano, as reported by David Ornstein as well. A bid was improved by Fulham, and their second bid is £35 million, 41.5 million euros. Arsenal have already agreed to this kind of deal. They're now working on the structure, how much is going to be paid up front, how much is going to be paid in add-ons and bonuses and things like that. But Emile Smith Rowe is very close to leaving Arsenal. Now, according to inside sources, Emile Smith Rowe is one of the players that Mikel Arteta wanted to keep, and he's one of the players that manager thought would stay at Arsenal beyond this summer. However, the player has decided to leave Arsenal due to his preference to play every single weekend. So he wants to go at a club where he's going to play almost every single time, every single weekend. As long as he's fit, he's going to be in the team to start. For me, it's a good deal for Fulham. I think they get a good player for 35 million. It's a good deal for Arsenal, a player that has not played for 2 seasons. You're getting 35 million out of him. He's homegrown, came from the academy. That is 100% profit. It's a win-win for all the parties involved. Emile Smith Rowe, obviously, as a player, when you go to Fulham, you expect to play more, you expect to be the star in such kind of a team. And maybe he's looking at the World Cup 2026 and maybe the Euros that to come in 2028. And he's saying, I want to be part of that. I want 2 years later, when I'm 25, I want to represent England in the World Cup. And I also want to represent England in the next Euros as well. So we wait to see what's going to come out of there. But we can confirm that Emile Smith Rowe is very close to leaving Arsenal. Should the two clubs agree on a deal, Emile will go and do medicals with Fulham. That is expected to happen early next week. And then he will become a Fulham FC player. Now, in regards to ESR leaving, Arsenal will respond by signing a midfielder. And Arsenal are very serious about 2 Spanish midfielders this summer. We are talking Fabian Ruiz, but we're also talking Mikel Merino. So let's start off with Duncan Castle's report on Fabian Ruiz today. In response to Emile Smith Rowe leaving Arsenal, Arsenal have initiated discussions with PSG for Fabian Ruiz. Discussions are dependent, are dependent, he is told, on Arsenal moving a player out of midfield. It is likely they are going to come to an agreement. It will be a structured loan with an obligation to buy. That's according to Duncan Castles, who says Arsenal are responding to losing Emile Smith Rowe by going to the market to replace him with another midfielder that seemingly plays in a very, very, I would say, related fashion to him, more experienced, but would be a little bit cheaper. So Fabian Ruiz, we've done a live stream on this one on the channel, and many of you actually like him. Many of you think he's better than Mikel Merino. Many of you think that he would be a better signing than Mikel Merino. So let me know in the comment box below right now. Do you think Fabian Ruiz is a much better signing for Arsenal in midfield than Mikel Merino? And if you think so, why? If you think Mikel Merino is the better player, why do you think Mikel Merino is the better player? So for me, what I've looked at here is, I think Mikel Arteta is trying to create a team that is huge enough, broad enough, probably not huge enough, but broad enough to go 38 games a season without any inconveniences. Obviously, you have the injuries of Jorginho and Partey. Jorginho is not that injury prone, but he's old. So you want to bring in players around that team that can support Declan Rice, players that can support the likes of Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard. And Fabian Ruiz would be such a very good player and a good signing to actually giving Arsenal just that. He comes in at 28. It's going to be a cheap deal. That's one of the things that Arsenal are going to, be benefiting from this. And then a loan deal initially, that's even better. But why Mikel Merino is a good deal for me, again, I'm looking at him coming in that team and just changing the way Arsenal play in the left eight. I mean, we could have an Odegaard version on the left hand side of the team rather than just having Odegaard on the right hand side. And I think Mikel Arteta is slowly but surely trying to revolutionize the left hand side of Arsenal with Calafiori coming in, with maybe Fabian Ruiz coming in, and then Gabriel Martinelli, Oleandro Trossard. We might see the left hand side at Arsenal be self-sufficient. We might see it become better. It might help Arsenal in scoring more goals, defending better as compared to the previous 2 or 3 seasons. Because our problems have been, on the left, you had Zinchenko, who was a weak link defensively, and then you didn't have a proper number 8 in that position. Xhaka is not a proper number 8. I think for Switzerland, that role suits him very well. But again, for Switzerland, he's not a box crusher. He's actually more of a Toni Kroos game dictator, tempo setter, something like that. So we've not played with a decent, and we've not played with a proper number 8. Even Declan Rice, who had actually a very good season in that position, he's not a number 8. Yes, I mean, he's good. He did a very good job, but he's not a number 8 in terms of ball progression, in terms of crashing into the penalty area, scoring goals, creating chances. You can see that Fabian Ruiz would be on a much better level in terms of being decorated as a number 8, as a CM, as compared to Declan Rice. But also the plan for Mikel Arteta, for me, I would still say, just like we signed Fabio Vieira, I think Mikel Arteta is planning on having 2 central attacking midfielders that are so good on the ball, so good at creating chances, and very invested in scoring goals. And then having, a one Declan Rice who's got the capacity and the ability to just defend and take care of, out of possession matters when these 2 players are out, lose the ball. So I think we might see Fabian Ruiz alongside Odegaard and Declan Rice next season. But what about Mikel Merino? We're going to talk about the price of these 2 players. So Mikel Merino today, reports in Spain are still reporting that Arsenal are very, very confident of signing Mikel Merino. They think they're in the driving seat, and they already sent a proposal to the player in terms of personal terms, and they think they are close to agreeing personal terms with the player. So Mikel Merino, just like people thought that Merino might be off because of the Fabian Ruiz deal, no. Mikel Merino could be Arsenal's first signing in midfield, followed by Fabian Ruiz. Or if Fabian Ruiz comes in first, we might have Fabian Ruiz coming first, and then Mikel Merino as the second signing of into midfield. So there's a possibility that we might see Arsenal going for 2 players in the midfield. And let me explain. So before Emile Smith Rowe leaving, Arsenal are planning already on adding another midfielder to the team, whether that would be an attacking midfielder or a defensive midfielder. We don't know. But what we understand is that the plan this summer was to get in at least 1 more midfielder. The Athletic had reported that a number 6 was a priority, but they also reported that it won't be a surprise if Arsenal went for 2, and it wouldn't have been a surprise if Arsenal went with an attacking midfielder and a defensive midfielder. So what is quite impressive here is that none of these 2 is a DM. Definitely, all of them have the same kind of education, right? Footballing education. They can play as a 6, they can play as an 8 as well, but predominantly, their priority positions are CAM, central attacking midfield, CM, central midfield, number 8, right? Box to box. That's what they do. Merino, that's what he does. Ruiz, that's what he does. And Eze, again, who's wanted by Arsenal, that's what they do. So are we going to see Fabian Ruiz and Mikel Merino in the same team or sign for us in the same summer? possibly it could happen. We could bring in Merino to replace Emile Smith Rowe, like for like, and then we could bring in Fabian Ruiz as the player that Mikel Arteta wanted right from the start, whether we lost Emile Smith Rowe or we didn't. Now, in terms of the price for Fabian Ruiz, Arsenal are looking to pay around 30 million euros or even less than that, and the price could be interesting because, of course, PSG got him for 22 million euros. That was in the summer of 2021. So 2022, 2023. Actually, in the summer of 2022, not 2021, 2022. So since then, he's made around 40 appearances, or around 47 appearances for Paris Saint-Germain in the league. He's been dropped out of the starting 11 by Vitinha, who is much better, obviously. And the player is now asking for game time. PSG are open to selling. The question, are they going to agree on a loan initially with an obligation to buy? If they agree to that, I don't see how this deal doesn't happen. I don't see how Arsenal failed to get Fabian Ruiz. And it will be an exciting Arsenal. It will be a different Arsenal. I would love to see it. I would love to see how Arsenal sets up with Fabian Ruiz. But of course, if this video gets to 500 likes, I'll do a video on how Calafiori, Merino, Fabian Ruiz could set up at Arsenal. Obviously, not in the same team because I don't see that happen. But if Merino could come in as a Martin Odegaard replacement, that could happen as well. So if this video gets 500, then we'll do a video on how we could set up. Now, the Nico Williams saga has been going on and on and on. Looks like it's coming to an end. Nico Williams to the Barcelona have said that they have worked on their finances and they have finally reached a position where they think they can sign Nico Williams. That is according to the president, Laporta, who has said that we've been working tooth and nail to correct our finances, and now we are in a position where we can sign Nico Williams. They have already sent in an offer to RB Leipzig for Dani Olmo. It's going to cost them 50 million euros plus. Could go up to 60 million euros. But Barca are very serious about Dani Olmo and Nico Williams. So with Arsenal, understanding that Nico Williams is giving priority to Barcelona, I think our chance on this deal was if Barca failed financially. That was our chance. We never thought that Barca would fail to get the players' approval or agree with them on personal terms. They always knew they were going to get that deal done. I think it was about can we wait until Barcelona maybe fail to find a way out in how to afford the deal. 58 million euros paid across one installment. Arsenal didn't want to get into that, and we thought maybe Barcelona failed to get into such kind of a deal. But Barca are increasingly confident that they're going to sign Nico Williams. Yesterday, I reported that Federico Chiesa, again, Arsenal contacted Juve for Federico Chiesa. We are the only team in for Federico Chiesa right now. So there might be something to Federico Chiesa's deal, given the fact that Arsenal are now getting that information from Spain that Nico Williams is closer and closer and closer to joining FC Barcelona. What I'm going to say is I won't be shocked and I won't be disappointed if we don't get Nico. I think right from the first day we reported that Nico was a Barcelona favorite, and Barcelona were a favorite club for Nico as well. I would have loved him at Arsenal, but I'm not that disappointed, honestly. So the Riccardo Calafiori deal today has been confirmed that medical, not deal. It has been confirmed that he will have his medical, first part of the medical in London, and then he'll fly over to the US to complete his medicals. The one thing I know about Arsenal is they take time on deals. Like, after agreeing personal terms with the player and after agreeing the price, Arsenal take a lot of time to announce deals. So we might see this deal drag on and drag on and drag on just because Arsenal are just there. You know, I don't know what they're always doing. I don't know whether our media kits take a lot of time, but this is a deal for me that we should have copied Manchester United the way they did with Lenny Orodale. Guy came in for medical. On the same day, they announced him. Like, within 24 hours, did his medical. He flew in, did his media duties, and was announced. And then a few days later, after even playing his first game, released the interview. Like, just get it done. Why don't we be as quick as that? Now, with the Eddie Nketiah and Brice Nelson, the situation has not yet changed today. But Nketiah is still a favorite player to leave Arsenal to join Marseille. And Brice Nelson is also still the favorite player to be Leicester City's next signing. That's where we are. Eddie Nketiah, we have an offer from Marseille. Leicester have also tabled an offer for Brice Nelson. Is it going to happen? I think it will happen, and I think we'll see it very, very soon. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll speak again soon.